When are we doing worship properly?
After I've done my little sermon.
Okay, you just tell me.
Yep. That's wrong.
Test.
All right, this is the pre-service announcement. This is the time for you all to light your shamash candle. All right, so go ahead and light your shamash candle, and then you can go sit down again, and we'll summon you back up. All right, just the shamash candle. Okay. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Hag Urim Sameach, a happy holiday of lights. It is a delight to be here with you all tonight and to celebrate on this chilliest of Texas nights. We've already had a couple of small miracles happen. Our electrical grid is holding up. And beyond that, we've lost a couple of congregants to various illnesses. We lost Dr. Nikki today. She is not going to be able to perform, but we have the small miracle that Tanya just stepped right in and picked up. So we are so appreciative. Oh yeah, they're all alive. I'm not declaring anyone dead. But you take the word lost in the most Jewish kind of way. All right. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get started. If you go to the very back of your pamphlet to page 14, you'll find right in the middle, O Hanukkah.
Oh, Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather round the table, we'll give you a treat. Shiny dolls to play with and latkes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning long. One for each night, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Oh, Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather round the table, we'll give you a treat. Dreidels to play with and latkes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning long. One for each night, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Oh, Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather round the table, we'll give you a treat. Dreidels to play with and latkes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning long. One for each night, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago.
Ladies and gentlemen, step up to your menorah. Now, remember, as in all matters Jewish, you don't get to do anything until it's well past the time that you want to. So we are going to start with a meditation and a couple of brachot before we kindle. Are you ready, everyone? Hanukkah is the Hagurim, the festival of light. Each day a new candle glows and light grows. One becomes two, two becomes three, until the Hanukkah is full of candles and the room is full of light. Hanukkah reminds us that light can grow and grow, dispelling more and more darkness, but only if we do our part. It is we who must kindle the flame of God's light for ourselves and for others. And so we begin with the blessing for the lighting of the Hanukkah, but then we also have to say a second bracha about the reasons we're doing it. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Hanukkah. Blessed are you, eternal our God, sovereign of the universe, who has sanctified us through commandments and has commanded us to kindle the lights of Hanukkah. And now the second blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asa nisim le'avoteinu bayamim b'zman hazeh. Blessed are you, eternal our God, sovereign of the universe, who has wrought miracles for our ancestors in days of old, at this season in years past. And so it is, we begin kindling our first Hanukkah light. The people who have walked in darkness have seen a great light. Yes, nice. All right, and the second one, though I fall, I will rise. Though I sit in darkness, God shall be a light for me. And then our third, for your light is a lamp. The everlasting God makes bright my darkness. And then the fourth, light shines in the darkness for the upright and for one who is gracious, compassionate, and just. And number five, God is my light and my help. Whom shall I fear? And then finally, for this night, we light number 6. For the mitzvah is a lamp, and the Torah is a light. And then we recite the affirmation of these lights on the bottom of page 2, if you're with me. We light these lights for the miracles and the wonders, for the redemption and the battles that you made for our forefathers on those days in this season through your holy priests. During all 8 days of Hanukkah, these lights are sacred, and we are not permitted to make them serve except to look at them in order to express thanks and praise to your great name for your miracles, your wonders, and your salvations. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to gaze upon the lights of Hanukkah, enjoy them, and when you're ready, you can sit down. In a minute. Excellent. They're all looking very stable, except perhaps for this one, which is sort of giving me a tan. But not to worry, we have our extinguisher up here. And so, having begun Hanukkah, of course, Hanukkah, the celebration precedes the beginning of Shabbat. So if you turn to the next page, you will find the blessing for Shabbat, and we can restore the lights. Molly, would you turn the lights back on? It's my privilege to invite up Melissa Trapani to kindle the lights of Shabbat. Maybe I'll cut those a little shorter next time.
In the beginning, when the Spirit of God hovered over the darkness, God's first creation was light. As we kindle these Shabbat lights, we attest to the majesty of God's work and rejoice in its beauty. Light is the symbol of divinity and creative goodness. It is the outward sign of that inner spark which God has shared with each of us. In hope and with love, we now welcome Shabbat.
I'm thinking about that.
Blessed are you, source of light, who hallows us with mitzvah and inspires us to kindle Shabbat light.
May God bless us with Shabbat joy. May God bless us with Shabbat holiness. May God bless us with Shabbat peace. Amen. Shabbat shalom. Thank you, my dear. All right, now, you may think that this is entirely unintentional, but in fact, this is a plan. I'm thinking to myself, yes, it could trigger the sprinkler system. But then again, we are commanded to publicize the miracle. So I am going to carry it outside. And so that this will not give us our first Hanukkah rainstorm indoors. Yeah. A new tradition is born. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we continue with Psalm 92. It is good to give thanks to the Eternal, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to tell of your love in the morning, to sing at night of your faithfulness, with strings of the harp, with voice and lyre in harmony. Your deeds, O Eternal, fill me with gladness. Your work moves me to song. How great are your works, O Eternal! How profound your design! The fool will never learn. The dullard never grasp this. The wicked may flourish like grass, and all who do evil may blossom. And yet they are doomed to destruction, while you, O Eternal, are exalted forever. See how your enemies, O Eternal, see how your enemies vanish, how all who do evil will be scattered. You lift up my head with pride. I am bathed in freshening oil. I shall see the defeat of my foes. My ears shall hear of their fall. And the righteous shall flourish like palms, grow tall like cedars in Lebanon. Rooted in the house of the Eternal, they shall be ever fresh and green, proclaiming that God is just, my rock in whom there is no wrong. Amen. V'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayei kol Beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, uvizman kari, v'inaru, amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach, le'alam u'lam me'almaya, Yitbarach,
Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yipar, v'yitroman, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitale, v'yitala, shemei dekudasha,
Brechu,
leilan min kol virchata v'shirchata,
Tushbechata v'nechemata, Damiran belma, V'imaru, amen. Whether it be in body or spirit, if able, please rise for the Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai, Hamemorah.
Baruch Adonai, Hamevorach, Hamevorach, Leolam Vaed. Hamevorach, Hamevorach, Leolam Vaed. On this day, we would see the world in a new light. On this day, we would add new spirit to our lives. On this day, we would taste a new time of peace. We would rest from the desire for gain, ambition for things. We would raise our eyes to look beyond time and space towards eternity. O God, may we come to see the world in a new light. As it is written, let a new light shine upon Zion, and may it be our blessing to see its splendor. One and only God, you have made each of us unique, but have formed us to be united in one family of love. Be with us, Eternal One, as we seek to unite our lives with your power and your love. We proclaim now your oneness and our own hope for unity. We acclaim your creative power in the universe and in ourselves, your Torah, which binds world to world and heart to heart.
Shema
Yisrael,
Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated. And if you feel comfortable, please join us in chanting the Via Hafta on page 6. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך וחיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיהם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We turn now to page 7. I, the Eternal, have called you to righteousness and taken you by the hand and kept you. I have made you a covenant people, a light to the nations. We are Israel, witness to the covenant between God and God's children. This is the covenant I make with Israel. I will place my Torah in your midst and write it upon your hearts. I will be your God, and you shall be my people. We are Israel. Our Torah forbids the worship of race or nation, possessions or power. You who worship gods that cannot save you, hear the words of the Eternal One. I am God, there is none else. We are Israel. Our prophets proclaimed an exalted vision for the world. Hate evil and love what is good. Let justice well up as waters and righteousness as a mighty stream. We are Israel, schooled in the suffering of the oppressed. You shall not oppress your neighbor, nor rob them. You shall not stand idle while your neighbor bleeds. We are Israel, taught to beat swords into plowshares, commanded to pursue peace. You are my witnesses, says the Eternal One, and my servant who I have chosen. Know me, therefore, and put your trust in me. We are Israel, O God, when we proclaim you our Redeemer, as did our ancestors on the shores of the sea.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדם בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה, זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו. Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedam b'kodesh, nora tehilot oseh pele.
Nehilo Tosefele. And so now, once again, it is time for us to rise. If able, I invite you to please join me in tefillah. Just the avot prayer for this tonight.
Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi gilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Ha'gibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Hashtei Avot v'Imaot, U'mevi Ulam Livnei B'neihem, L'man Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach Mahin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Yisrael Sarah. Please be seated, everyone. Modim, thanks for Hanukkah. Al hanisim v'al hapukan v'al hagivurot v'al hatishuot v'al hamilchamot she'asa la'avotenu bayamim hahen v'azman hazeh. Together, for the miracles and for the salvation and for the mighty deeds and for the victories and for the battles which you performed for our ancestors in those days at this time, we give thanks. In the days of Matisyahu, the son of Yochanan, the Kohen Gadol, the Hasmonean, and his sons, when the wicked Greek kingdom rose up against your people Israel to make them forget your Torah and to compel them to stray from your teachings, you in your great mercy stood up for them in the time of their distress. You took up their grievance, judged their claim, and righted their wrong. You delivered the strong into the hands of the weak, and the many into the hands of the few, the impure into the hands of the pure, the wicked into the hands of the righteous, and the wanton into the hands of the diligent students of your Torah. For yourself you made a great and holy name in your world, and for your people Israel you worked a great victory and salvation. Thereafter your children came to the Holy of Holies of your house, cleansed your temple, purified the site of your holiness, and kindled lights in the courtyards of your sanctuary. And they established these 8 days of Hanukkah to express thanks and praise for your great name. Now, we have a reading here from the first book of Maccabees, if you are interested in reading it, but I'm not going to do that tonight. Instead, we're going to have one song. Is it Light One Light? Ocho Candelijas on page 14. Is that right? No, that's not right. Where is it? Hold on. No, hold on. It's here somewhere. No, it's not. Okay. Ocho Candelicas. For those of you who already know and are familiar with Ladino, this won't be any problem. All right. Everybody knows Ladino, right?
You can figure out the chorus.
Hanukkah linda está aquí, 8 candelas para mí. Hanukkah linda está aquí, 8 candelas para mí. Oh, una candelica, 2 candelicas, 3 candelicas, 4 candelicas, 5 candelicas, 6 candelicas, 7 candelicas, 8 candelas para mí. Muchas fiestas voy a hacer con alegría y placer. Muchas fiestas voy a hacer con alegría y placer. Oh, 1 candelica, 2 candelicas, 3 candelicas, 4 candelicas, 5 candelicas, 6 candelicas, 7 candelicas, 8 candelas para mí. Los pastelicos voy a comer con almendricas y la miel. Los pastelicos voy a comer con almendricas y la miel. Oh, 1 candelica, 2 candelicas, 3 candelicas, 4 candelicas, 5 candelicas, 6 candelicas, 7 candelicas, 8 candelas para mí. One more time. 1 candelica, 2 candelicas, 3 candelicas, 4 candelicas, 5 candelicas, 6 candelicas, 7 candelicas, 8 candelas para mí.
So, the miracle. Such a small miracle. Such an inconsequential miracle. So inconsequential that we joke about it all the time. So, for example, people will compare Hanukkah to having your smartphone, and it looks like you've only got enough power for 1 day, and it lasts for 8. Or someone may call it the Jewish supply chain problem holiday. Or you can reverse that and you can talk about how I started out with enough donuts for 8 days and they only lasted 1. All right? Yet we have been commanded, lifarnes hanes, to publicize this miracle, to promote this miracle. And I think if that's the case, then we Jews need a new PR firm, because this is a lousy miracle to promote. Honest to God, we've got better, much better miracles to advertise. Seriously, think about it. A sea splitting in half, water coming out of a rock, food that falls daily from heaven for 40 years. Even beyond the Torah, you go to the rest of the Hebrew Bible, prophets who not only summon bolts of fire from heaven, but feed masses during famine and even bring the dead to life once again. These are awesome miracles. The Talmud even offers better miracles than this one, right? For 12 years, Rabbi Shimon and his son hid in a cave and were miraculously fed from a carob tree. That's a pretty good miracle compared to this one. With all this, why are we commanded to promote, to advertise, to publicize this puny little miracle? It's not even truthfully an indisputable miracle. Maybe it's just a mistake. Maybe our ancestors were not good with numbers. Maybe they just underestimated. Maybe like the proverbial Jewish old man in the restaurant, he sits there complaining, the portions, they're so small, only to be surprised when he gets up from the table and finds that he's full nonetheless. But perhaps, that's the point. The Talmud tells us we are not to rely on miracles in our daily lives. And I presume they mean the big kind, the indisputable kind, the 10 plagues kind. But the small, disputable, strange, but unlikely, and yet they happen miracles, these we need to not only celebrate, but we need to tell other people about them. Now, the medieval mystic Nachmanides says that there are really two kinds of miracles in the world. What he calls nes nigla, that is an obvious miracle, an out and out miracle, an objective miracle, when physics and chemistry, the very natural order, is interrupted and everyone can see that. That's a nes nigla. But there are also nes nistar, concealed miracles, when the miracle is a matter of perception or experience rather than an objective according to Hoyle definition of a miracle. These are, I would say, rather more common than a nes nigla. It's what we feel when we are able to walk away from a terrible accident, or able to give birth when at one point it seemed impossible. It's the moment when one morning feels more present than the average morning, or an unexpected reprieve from seeming certain disaster happens, or when we walk into a bathroom we've never been to before and there is toilet paper there, just waiting for us. It's when the Texas power grid doesn't fail, even though we are sure it will. In fact, our lives are filled, or should be filled, with nes nigla, with concealed miracles, but ones that are concealed for most of us, but not all of us. If we look for them, we can even find miracles that happen daily. And how mighty is a life that is lived, conscious of the small, puny miracles that happen to us on a regular basis, maybe on a daily basis. Hanukkah, our minor holiday, not one of the big ones, not one of the big five, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, Pesach, or Shavuot, a truly minor holiday with what can only be described as a meh miracle, makes a big ask of us all, and that is to see it, to see the miracles, the daily wonders, and proclaim them and say out loud, this is amazing. Did you experience this? Have you had a Cinnabon? Help others to be miracle conscious, and in doing so, make the world a more wondrous and wonderful place by doing that. That's the true gift of Hanukkah. That's the true purpose of proclaiming the miracle, to discover the magic in the ordinary, a world that is both wonderful and wondrous in ways that perhaps even yesterday we did not imagine. So, Hagurim Sameach, happy holidays to everyone. Now, it's time for our announcements, because no holiday can escape the presence of announcements. Who is our officer tonight to do announcements? All right. It's Casey and Mackenzie.
Better learn how to read really fast. All right, Chag Sameach, everybody. I'll share my miracle with you every year, and I tell everybody this every year. Growing up with hair that looks like this, in the late 90s, early 2000s, when mousse and gel were really, really popular, we caught fire quite a bit as kids. So since becoming a legal adult, I have not caught fire, and that's a big deal for me. She's learning. So, announcements. The Tikkun Olam Sock and Underwear Drive. Each night, over 600,000 people live on the streets in the US. As the weather turns cooler, let's bring the gift of warmth to our community. From November 18th through December 30th, we will be taking donations of socks and underwear for adults of all sizes and genders. The donations can be dropped off here. If you have any questions, please contact our VP of Tikkun Olam, Melissa Trapani. This one is, this one. This one's about Menorathon, which you're all here at, so I'm not gonna read that one. The Rough Riders are offering group tickets to us, and the Dallas Stars are sponsoring Jewish Community Night again this year. You can purchase Stars tickets now. The Rough Riders are, the tickets are available for April 8th at 7:05 p.m. against the Amarillo Sod Poodles on opening weekend. You can find the registration link for both in the weekly blaster on the website. This year is a unique and fun fundraiser. We're asking our youngest congregation members to design a t-shirt for CKA using the theme of "What does CKA mean to me?" There will be 3 winners chosen based on age groups, K through 3, 4 to 8, and high school. Each winner will receive a free t-shirt with their design on it. The winning designs will then be available for purchase by our members and their friends and family. It will be a great way to show your CKA pride and help us raise funds to support this show. All designs are due by January 8th, which incidentally is the first day of religious school after our break. The winners will be chosen that day. If you have any questions, please reach out again to Melissa Trapani. You can reach out to me too. I didn't mention the website once, so my optional statement is now mandatory. If you, go ahead. The link will be on the website, which is where everything else is. If you need any information, want to make a donation, want to see some cute pictures, check out the website.
This week, can I do this?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Thank you.
All right.
Would you like to keep this?
I would love.
If something catches fire, it's very wet. It'll put the fire out.
Some by fire, some by water. All right. So we also take a little bit of time to think of those individuals who are ailing and sick in our community, whether they're ailing in body or spirit. So I'm going to name the people that we know of, but if you have more names to share with us after I'm done, please do that and we'll say the Mishaberach together. May the one who blessed our ancestors also bless Joyce Bloom, Natalie Bovino, Karen Brown, Sandy Cook, Audie Cundiff, Mark Davis, Nancy Enneman, Harry Enneman, Francine Feingold, Michelle Griffith, Carol Jones, Molly Kalig, John Kaufman, Deb Kaufman, Lauren Koenig, Alex Koenig, Richard Kurjan, Gianna LaMonica, Deb Ledden, Matt Levine, Morris Lorelli, Phyllis Lorelli, forgive me, Paxton Lucht, the Miley family, Paul Redwood Jr., Frank Ria, Helen Rubel, Bruce Sari, Adrian Sandler, Dale Seaver, Happy Waterman, Karen Weinstein, Barry Weinstein, Carly Wisniewski, and Tom Wolf. Who else has a name they would like to include on our list? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Paul Bernstein,
Thank you.
Paul Davis, Barry Davis, Tony Odom, Shirley Ann, and Dawn Zach.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, go ahead, Molly. Win Mars. Robin Dennis, and also within our family, we also want to think of Aunt. There we go. Yeah.
Laura and Sherry Lynn.
Thank you. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless them all. We're joined together in saying the traditional prayer for healing, Mishaberach. You can find it on the back of your pamphlet if it hasn't undergone this kind of experience. All right.
Mi
Shebe'era
Avotenu Mikor HaBracha Imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mikor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. I do realize in retrospect there are a couple more announcements. The miracles continue. There will be no religious school this Sunday. But more importantly, it's the 24th tomorrow, and therefore it's time for the Jewish tradition, longstanding in America, of Chinese food. So we are going to be going to Regal Buffet over in Louisville, besides the Walmart, 6 o'clock. The Chinese are less tolerant of lateness than the rest of us. So try and be there on time. So we are there to fill up the space as we promised. So I hope you'll join us for Chinese food, and if you're so inclined, a movie afterwards. So we'll figure out what movies we want to go see at the time. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to turn to page 12. And if you're able, please rise for the Aleinu. Please be seated, everyone, and please join me. God spread out the heavens and established the earth. God's presence fills the universe. This is our God, there is none else. As it is written in the Torah, know then this day and take it to heart. The eternal is God, in the heavens below and heavens above and the earth below, there is none else. Therefore, our hope is in you, eternal our God, that we will soon behold the glory of your might. Then false gods will vanish from the world, and the world will be mended through the sovereignty of the Almighty. And then all will acclaim you as their God, and forsaking evil,
turn to you alone. Bayom hahu, bayom hahu, Yeh Adonai Echad, Ushemo, Ushemo, Ushemo Echad. And now we take time once again to turn our thoughts to the Avot, to the ancestors. Just as our ancestors fought and sustained our faith and continued our people through all adversity, so too we have those more immediately close to us who have touched us with little miracles, who have lifted us and sustained us through our battles and our struggles and triumphs. And so we recall with love and gratitude the names of those people who have been recently taken from us, as well as those who have died at this season in years past. I begin by asking, is there anyone here observing Shiva, anyone who's lost a loved one in the last 7 days? For Shloshim, we're thinking of our congregant Linda Chidsey, the mother of Matthew and Morgan Chidsey. Is there anyone else here who's lost a loved one in the last 30 days?
Dennis Pitcock.
Thank you. And this week, we're thinking of these individuals connected to our congregation: Joseph Ducar, Joseph Gidan, Robert Leonard, Vicky Merkler, Ann Yutkin. Is there anyone else observing a yahrzeit, an anniversary of death? Kevin? Thank you. Please. Thank you. Thank you. The memory of all these people are here with us now. And we mingle our grief at their loss with our sympathy for those who remember them and care for them. And together as a community, we rise on page 13 to recite the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon, uvchayei dechol Beit Israel, Bagalal uvizman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach v'olam ulamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekutsha b'rechu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah mim shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'el kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Osei shalom b'mromah. Yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort all the bereaved among us. And let us say, please be seated. And we're going to close out our service and our celebration of communal Hanukkah with the classic Ma'ozor. If you turn to page 14 at the very top, we'll be singing the first verse in Hebrew, or the first stanza in Hebrew. No, I'll get technical. And the next two stanzas in English. Ma'otzor Yeshuati.
Ma'otzor Yeshuati Lechaneh L'shabeach Tikkun Beit Tefilati V'sham Todah Nitzabeach Le'tahin matbeach Misar haminabeach Azegmor Bashir Mizmor Hanukkah.
and thy word broke their sword when our own strength failed us, and thy word broke their sword when our own strength failed us. Children of the wanderers, whether free or fettered, wake the echoes of the songs where you may be scattered. Yours the message cheering that the time is nearing, which will see all men free, tyrants disappearing, which will see all men free, tyrants disappearing. Shabbat Shalom. Hagurim Sameach. And may you all have an enlightened holiday this weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go to the Oneg. Come on.
I'm so sorry about a paper towel. We need to have events and all.
And I'm into the Oneg. Good job, the announcement.